All right, we should be live. Give it a second, guys. So let me see. I'm probably have to go out of here, see if I can get this up real quick. Ooh, refresh. Maybe. Okay, here we go. Hi, everybody. I'm Mike Campbell, and this is the driver's side. Real drivers, real talk. Before we get started, everybody, they'll start coming up in here. Unfortunately, we're on a delay. Remember that, everybody. So, and let everybody talk and let everybody get out what they need to get out. But first, I want to start with the lady of the evening. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself? And it's a pleasure. First of all, it's just a pleasure to have you finally. I cannot thank you enough for all the smiles that you put out on a daily basis. It's absolutely wonderful to see such a positive energy within the trucking industry. Go ahead and introduce. You know who I'm talking about. Go ahead, lady.
Renee Anderson. I'm a car hauler for Trent Enterprises, and I'm just me.
Yeah, you're more than just you, Renee. Stop it. So go ahead, boys. Fight over who wants to. Actually, you know what? Let's go with the other guy. Let's go with the fisherman. Go ahead, fisherman, because the other one's been here before.
Yeah. What do you want to know, Wayne?
I want to know who you are and what do you do?
Terry Rogers. They call me Digger. I'm live in Sheridan, Arkansas. I work for Stack Logistics. Been a veteran truck driver for the last 32 years in the flatbed industry. I worked in safety. Been all around it.
Nice. I can't thank you enough for being here, Digger. I know that's your handle on that. That's what I kind of like calling you. So I'm going to go ahead and call you Digger. It's Terry Rogers, but I'll call you Digger. Go ahead, Mr. Herdrich.
Oh, you're getting it right now. John Herdrich. I own Herdrich Express Lines. We run 5 trucks as of now. 6th one's getting ready to get added. And I just had a phone call on another one getting added today. Plus, we have a little brokerage, and I'm semi-retired anymore. I have a little play toy. It's nothing fancy, just a little 660 Kenworth I'm playing with, and I ran around last week. I'll maybe run around next week.
I know you were in Houston the other day.
Yes, I was in Houston, and it was absolutely nuts. Last Thursday evening, I was supposed to be in Houston at 7:30 at night. Got there at 3 in the afternoon. Guy takes down all my information, says, "Hey, we'll text you when we're ready for a door." I walked back up at 8:30 because that's a place we frequent, HEB, all the time. And she says, we ain't got a door for you. Well, I was a little sleepy, so I laid down and woke up about 1 o'clock in the morning, walked up there, and she said, well, they're closed. What do you mean they're closed? I'm here. She found my card. She says, nobody entered you in the system. I sat there for 28 hours to get 12 pallets.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I mean, which we got paid for it, and I still made my next delivery to final out the truck with 15 minutes to spare in San Antonio, but it was quite the event.
Renee.
Gotta love HEB.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
What's going on with you? Where are you at? I know you haul cars. What's happening? We know everything that's going on. What is your current state, and what's going on with what you're doing?
It's slowed down a lot. Chrysler Dodge, they are closing as of tomorrow all their plants. The plant in Toledo had 25 cases tested positive for COVID-19. One of their shuttle drivers was taken away yesterday in an ambulance with it. Basically, what they've got left on their yards is what we're picking up. What's going to happen after they run out? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to keep running or we're going to shut down, or it just looks like we're going to run out of cars probably within the next couple of weeks.
All right, so I'm going to go. We'll start there with you, Renee. I'm going to jump on over to Terry real quick because I want to get back to you, Renee, because I want to get with everybody. But I want to talk to Terry real quick because he's a company driver. He's actually a Stack Logistics driver. So I pray for all my Stack family and hello to all the Stack Logistics drivers and office staff, and everybody's good. Terry, what's going on with you? It's on your neck of woods.
Right now, everything's smooth sailing. All of our trucks are running. I'm working every day. I talk to some of the over-the-road drivers on the phone daily. I've talked to several of my friends that are drivers around the state and in the Midwest. Everything's pretty much a go. Nobody's shutting down. Uh, the only thing I'm hearing is the rest areas are shutting down. Some of the parking areas where they like to stay at, and you know, the food's the main thing. They're not being able to get to eat in the buffets and stuff anymore. You know, they're having to close them down. So, but as far as the freight lanes and everything, I've not seen anything.
And you're pulling coil out of a port, aren't you?
I haul wire rod out of the port, and I deal with that. It was a concern with me. I asked the port manager what was the chances of the river shutting down so the coils couldn't be brought up, and he said, as of right now, it's not an issue. Coils are moving daily. We move them by the hundreds.
Okay, so I'll get back to you, Terry, because I want to ask you about what's going on as far as like what's the population around there. We'll come back to you. John, you're a company owner. I'm going to go to John real quick. John, you're a company owner, a driver, and you're a carrier. What's going on with you?
We got an email from our direct today how they're going to handle the COVID-19 process. Basically, you have to call when you get there. They'll ask you questions. If you answer yes to any of those questions, they want a temperature reading not provided by them. So I haven't figured out how they're going to do that yet. That's only if we enter the building. As far as my drivers, I made sure I had 2 of them leave out yesterday. Made sure they had plenty of groceries and stuff with them. Because they were both going the same way. They were both going east. And I told the one driver, he says, I got plenty of time. I said, you boys stay together as much as you can. And they ran together into Ohio last night, and then they split off. One had to go one way, one had to go the other way. As far as freight, we're not, as of now, not seeing a slowdown in it. We've got all our stuff for next week already. Another friend of mine, Cisco in New Orleans, they've instituted a deal. They're putting up a guard shack at that one, taking your paperwork there, checking your seal there. You back in the door, stay in your truck. When you're empty, you'll get a phone call, go to the guard shack, they'll hand you your paperwork and you leave. Other than that, that's all I've really seen right now. I mean, my guys are saying traffic is, it's more trucks than anything, and it's actually quite nice.
Right. I figure traffic is probably dying down by now. But before Renee, how about you? I know you're hitting states right now. You're going from state to state to state to state. And what are you seeing as you go from different states? What's going on like fuel islands? What are you actually seeing at truck stops right now?
Not really a whole lot. I mean, today I did notice that the fuel islands were 2 and 3 deep, and that's unusual. I mean, it's usually, you pull up, there's maybe one truck. Yeah, we're 3 and 4 deep. I don't know what the deal on that is. I know the prices have dropped on fuel.
Quite considerably.
Actually, in the truck stops, a lot of the restaurants are closed other than getting, something to go. They won't let you come in and eat. Some are still open in some places. A lot of the hot bars are closed. Some are still open. The one in Allerton Flying J is still open. You can't bring a mug in from your truck and get it refilled anywhere. They've got signs all over the place. You have to get new cups everywhere.
That's actually happening at all convenience stores in Vegas. That's actually happening. That's already happening.
Right.
And that's just safe.
It's everywhere.
So, Digger, what's it like at the ports? I mean, is it busy? Is there people everywhere? Is it just like nothing's happening?
Absolutely. It's like they deal with fertilizer in there too, where I'm at, and it's the trucks come in daily. They're loading out, they're gone, and it's as far as I can tell around here, it's like nothing's even happened.
Really? So, what are you? What is
we're just rolling with it? Other than the food issues, Walmart's, anything around here you might as well forget trying to buy toilet paper, food. All the meat
That's
is empty
everywhere.
on the shelves. Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah, that's why I think it's important that drivers need to realize that with everything closing. I know when I first started OTR that I was always told, Wayne, you never know when I-80 is going to shut down. You're going to be sitting for 2-3 days. You better make sure
That's
you
right.
have food under your bunk and some clothes, whatever you need to survive for at least a week.
That's
For at
right.
least a week, because sometimes, I mean, I've been out of I-80 and it's been a day I didn't see nobody. 2 days I haven't seen anybody, and I had to eat what I had on my truck. Just
That's
because.
right.
Right.
So I'm seeing these drivers having a fit about all these restaurants being closed. But I know that the takeout's available. What do you
Right.
think these? What do we tell these drivers? Go ahead, John. We'll start with John.
What's that as far as for food and that?
Taking care of themselves. I mean, shouldn't they? I mean, here's my opinion. Here's where I'll start. Here's where I'll start with it. If you're not hauling directly for, because here's what the president's saying: go home. Nobody less than 10. So what I'm seeing is all these drivers out there hauling, but not going home. So I feel like everybody's just doing what as normal. But the thing is they're upset that the things aren't available to them.
Right.
Mhm.
My one driver that runs Lewiston, Maine every week, we had that discussion about food and that, and he's my one that broke his leg and he's back in the truck now. He says, no, you ain't got to worry about me with food. And I helped him get his stuff in the truck yesterday just so he didn't have to climb back up and down. He's got a walking cast and everything, but he's got enough stuff in his truck for 2 weeks.
Right.
The kid that I'm mentoring, I looked at him and I said, son, you got any food in the truck? Well, I didn't have time to go to the store and I didn't know where there was a store around here. Get your ass in your pickup and you go down a stop sign, make a right, go to the next stop sign, make a right, and Piggly Wiggly's on your left. Stock your truck. Because you don't know what you're going to be able to get. Make sure you have enough so you can eat. Myself, even though I don't run every week, I take stuff with me when I leave. I might eat out of the truck once, away from the truck the whole time I'm gone, just because the quality of the stuff you get anymore isn't worthy of the money you're giving for it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
right now, them guys, they've got plenty of stuff with them, and like I told them, I said, don't fall under a half a tank of fuel this week. Keep your trucks full and just do the best we can. If you go somewhere and they say we're closed, we're not going to receive this, don't get in a panic. Just call home. We'll move to the next one. If they don't receive it, move to the next one. And by the time it gets to that, boys, don't worry about it. Our direct will turn the truck back around, bring it home, and pay everybody to do it.
Renee, I see you got coffee.
Oh, yeah. I always have coffee.
You got everything you need, Renee?
Oh, yeah. I have everything I need in my truck. I very rarely even get out of the truck to go in a truck stop right now. I have water. I have coffee. I have food. I've got pretty much everything I need to survive a couple of weeks right here in the truck. I mean, I go in if I have to. That's about it. Showers and bathroom. That's it.
I'm not even going to ask Digger because I already know that dude probably catches his lunch every week. That guy's on the lake more than anything. Between him and my cousin, I don't know who's worse. Digger, I got a question for you, Digger. Are you seeing stuff closed down by you locally?
Not nothing really closed down right now. Like I said, Little Rock, they said there was a curfew up there. I'm not sure. I heard midnight to 5 a.m. I'm not sure how that works. I assume you can drive through there. 10 o'clock. It's just right now, I'm not seeing a lot of businesses shutting down. Everybody, it seems like the food industry is the biggest impact here.
Our mall,
The banks are only letting you come through the drive-through.
yeah, our malls just shut down here. All our bars and restaurants, and the kids are out of school indefinitely till this is over.
Yeah.
Right.
And Renee, don't you got family somewhere? You got something like a sister to you. I can't remember. Is it Amy? I want to say her name is.
Oh, Amy Wright. Yeah, she's
Where's she at?
not a sister by blood, but yeah,
Right, but
she's in
where's she at?
Michigan.
She's in Michigan. What is she? What are you hearing from family?
Everybody's. Look, I've got family all over. I've got some in Florida, some in South Carolina, Tennessee, Alaska. My little sister, lives in Florida. She works for the YMCA, and they do a lot of work with schools. And since the schools are shut down, she's not working, at least for the next week, possibly 2 weeks or more. And she is a single mother of 4 children. So, yeah, it's hitting her hard right now.
And right.
Um,
And so that brings to have we all heard about what our president said today about giving everybody $1,000 within the next 2 weeks?
Honestly,
that
I
would help her
was in the
immensely.
shop all day.
What's that, John? Go ahead.
I was in my normal habitat, Wayne. I was in the shop all day.
Digger, did you hear about?
My wife just said that she had heard that he was going to send everybody, $1,000.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, I haven't
Not
heard.
quite sure how they're going to accomplish that, but yeah, I heard that.
Go ahead, Digger.
Oh, I was just saying, I heard bits and pieces of the government paying up to $1,000, to people and to subside for their paychecks. I don't know nothing of it though.
So I'm gonna dive into it. Okay. So we got our president basically telling everybody to go home. Don't be around 10 or more people. I'm watching the casinos fold here one by one. Or first it was. Here's how I'm gonna put it. First it was the MGM and Wynn Resorts and the MGM properties, and then it leaked over to the Venetian, the Palazzo. The only one that hasn't yet is Station and Caesars. I mean, I feel like they're pushing the envelope. Our president's telling us basically for us to get over this, we need to not socialize and back off and basically go on a 2-week vacation in our homes. So are you seeing people actually follow this direction? Renee?
No.
Renee, go ahead. What are you seeing?
Nope. Business as usual. All the businesses
right.
I've passed by today are open. I've not seen anything closed. Normal traffic. Get around the bigger cities, the traffic's just as bad as it always is. So everybody's still going back and forth to work. So, yeah, I don't see any difference right now.
What about you, John?
Went to Kenworth today. That was really the only outside place I went today other than from here at home at the farm to the shop. I had to go to Kenworth and get parts. You can't, where they have like lights and apparel and some other stuff, you can't go in that part of the building. You can go to the parts counter, tell them what you need, and basically it's get your parts, pay for your parts, and get out. I did go, I take that back. I did go to Dollar General because I wanted some Arizona Arnold Palmer tea, and I mean, there was hardly anybody in there. My wife went to Walmart yesterday.
No chicken.
Shelves are empty, no chicken, and that's devastating to my dogs because they eat chicken every day. And no toilet paper, of course. Yeah. No bread.
I love it. The dogs. So, Renee, and Digger, nobody's seeing no different, right?
Come here,
Well,
baby.
we saw the beach back to the on, and I need to watch the news. I'm trying to go to the CDC and the White House. That's all what I'm trying to watch.
Right.
Otherwise, it's a flood of fear or this or that. But now I'm seeing crowds of people on beaches. Do you think people are actually taking this as a possible vacation?
Actually, Florida has put a ban, has enlisted a ban on the beaches. You're not allowed on the beaches. Someone just told me that they had the National Guard come out and get a bunch of spring breakers off the beach that refuse to leave.
Wow.
So, yeah, if you're planning a vacation, don't go to Florida.
No.
They don't want
Wow.
you.
I don't want you. Stay away. We're closed. Kind of like Las Vegas.
Yep.
We're closed. You know, hey,
Exactly.
when they close Las Vegas, you know it's getting kind of serious. That
There-
that place ain't been closed since Bugsy opened the Flamingo.
Look,
That's it.
look. When they close the Devil's Playground and he can't play,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
gonna push you. All right. The only
Yep.
thing they do is they might blink the lights for somebody. They did for JFK. That's the only time is they dim the lights for JFK and brought them back up. They didn't close down for nothing.
Fella, get out of there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where here's what I'm going to say. So when do truck drivers that are not hauling relief and people like yourselves that are going to work finally decide, okay, wait, the president's saying this and nobody's following what he's saying, but and things are getting worse. When do drivers that aren't hauling for the relief, when do we start calling it quits and saying, guys, we need to go home?
Well, that's like me. I don't haul anything for relief. Nothing I haul is essential. I haul cars. At some point, I'm going to run out of cars to haul, and then I'm going to have to go home.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
I'm an owner-operator, so until that point, I'm not going home.
Right.
But even that is slowed down. We're running out of cars already. So I'll be lucky to be running another 2 weeks.
Digger?
Plus, if they actually do the home quarantine thing that they keep talking about, everybody go home for 2 weeks, the dealerships are all going to be closed. So who am I going to deliver to?
Yeah, who are you going to deliver the cars to?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. Because I pick up brand new cars and I take them to dealerships.
You know,
Some of those dealerships I can just go in and drop them, but not all of them.
This is probably by far one of the oddest things in my career that I've ever dealt with, because
Absolutely.
I've hauled for hurricane relief. I've hauled telephone transformers during the hurricanes, tornado seasons. I've hauled ice, anything to relieve victims of a natural disaster, but nothing like this.
Right.
Not in
Yeah, I hauled
33.
reefer for 22 years in reefer, and I know exactly what you're talking about. So this
Right.
I've only been doing cars now for 6 months, and I don't know what to expect.
Right.
With
I
reefer,
had-
I know I would still be working, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
because everybody's got to eat.
right.
and that's the main reason why I really needed John tonight, is because, you know, before I go to you, John, I want to talk to Digger, because I know Digger, you know, you said it, Digger, you've never been through something like this in your career. I've never been through something like this in my life.
Right.
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 I've
So
been through strikes. I mean, I've been through a lot of stuff in the time I've been out here, and e-logs. I mean, I've been through it all, and I just haven't never dealt with something like this.
well,
This is weird.
I watched Magic Johnson have HIV and then play in the league a year later and then still alive. I mean, the AIDS epidemic was crazy when it comes
Oh,
to,
yeah.
Right.
as far as that goes. This reminds me of that when I was younger, not the bird flu, not the swine flu. It reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
the media
Panic.
handled that, you know, and
Yeah.
now we're looking at stars in the same aspect of Magic, but it's a lot more. So,
I would have to agree with you, Wayne.
huh?
I said I would have to agree with you because you and I are pretty close in age, and I think next to this, about the biggest devastating thing we've seen was with Magic Johnson with AIDS.
I mean, that was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, but I want to go back to Digger real quick, because I know Digger, and I know you are too, John. But you got reefer Digger, and you're in the game for. It's a different game for you. But what I want to ask Digger is, I know Digger's a man that he's not going to the doctor unless he absolutely is crawling. Okay,
Mhm.
we're the people. We're the men and women that grew up in an era where pick yourself up and keep going. Take some aspirin, whatever.
Right.
So how are you feeling in this type of situation? Are you feeling obligated to get ready to stay home with your family?
If that's what I have to do, it's kind of odd to me to have to do something like that. I've always been forced to, like I said, natural disaster, something, have to get out on the road and go help somebody else somewhere else, to where this is going on here in my home state. And it's definitely it's something I've thought about, but I try to not think about it till it happens. That's more of a reactor when something happens than have to sit back and think about it.
Right.
John, what about you?
I look at it and I know we transport food and everything else. But when do you call it for your driver's safety? Because my drivers to me, they're not just drivers for me, they're family.
That's right.
When do you look at it and say, it's enough, boys, come home, park them, and be with your family? Because nobody's thinking of that. Everybody's panicking for everybody else out there. But what about the guys that are out here having to deliver the food and everything else, and they shut rest areas for them? Okay, they just locked the building.
Right.
Well, where are they going to go to the bathroom, boys and girls? The next thing's going to be, well, they're going all over the parking lot, and we can't have this. Well, you gave them no choice.
Right.
And just like you said, don't go to the doctor unless we have to. Tomorrow's my year anniversary of 3 heart attacks in 1 week and having a stent. And when I finally went in, the doctor looked at me and said, you were 2.5 hours from being dead. So, we all deal with things a different way. Just like Digger says, he's not used to that, to where if they tell him he's got to do that, geez, I'd rather help people.
Right.
I understand people got to eat, but at the same time, I got to think about the safety of my guys too.
You bet.
Well, and I kind of want to say that's kind of what I mean. So here's the message I'm getting. We need to look out for older folks.
Yes.
People with underlying conditions, that people are carrying this. Even NBA players are on the air saying, I don't even know I had it. I never felt any different. Asymptomatic, I believe is what it's called.
Yeah, asymptomatic.
Traveling. The problem I see is we have to finally a generation of older folks that are built commando tough. We watched Rambo, the Predator. We didn't have these games and these computers. We had the streets.
Right.
And we got hurt and we fell. So we drank out of a water spigot. And guess what? We lived through lead paint. We lived through Humpty Dumpty fell off a wall. And we lived through all of it. So I think that we're seeing a lot of people, the anti-government, I'm not going to do what the government tells me. And then
we got a governor in our state. When President Trump said, I don't want any more than 10 people to gather at a time, right?
Yeah.
This geriatric bastard that belongs in a nursing home says, I'm not going to listen to President Trump. We're okay to go to 50 people in a gathering. Guess what? Today he's retracting his statement. I don't want any less than 10 people to gather. But you didn't want to listen yesterday.
And Dallas, Texas did the same thing.
And he just closed the schools indefinitely. Now you talk about, the elderly and everything. And Wayne, that 2 weeks ago, my father-in-law, open heart, bypass, plus put a valve in. I was just yelling at him yesterday because he had his first heart attack 30 years ago. The only thing that saved his life is walking. He's going to the mall and walking. You're 2 weeks out from heart surgery. Stay the hell away from people. Don't want to listen. I don't always listen. Well, no, you're being a dumb bastard. It's the only way to put it.
Now they close them all.
Now they close them all. So now he's got to walk outside.
What's the statistic, honey?
80%.
80%
of the people who are asymptomatic are the ones who are spreading it.
80% of the people that are asymptomatic are the ones that are spreading it. So
they have no idea that they have it, so they just keep doing and doing and doing.
Right.
Well, and this is what I want to say. It's crazy, especially I want to say it's kind of ironic in the trucking industry because us older generations, veterans, they don't want to listen or but it's now we actually have to listen to each other because it's actually across the nation. We have to help each other not pass this. It's an invisible enemy. I don't care if one died from the swine. I don't care what any other. That's not what we're dealing with. We're dealing with this one. I'm tired
Well,
of you.
Renee, when I was on the road last week, I didn't stay in a truck stop any longer than I had to. I went in, I went to the bathroom, got what I needed, got out. Same with
Got
getting
the
my
hell
food.
out.
Get in,
Yep.
get out, wipe my hands, wash my hands, and get out. I didn't want to spend any time around them because you know what? All of a sudden, everybody's a fanatic about washing their hands. But
Constantly.
2 months before this, you'd
Right.
walk out of a stall, walk right past the sink, and open the door and walk right out.
Yep.
Renee.
And I mean, you're a woman, Renee, and the ladies are doing the same thing. So it's not the guys that are just pigs.
Well, Wayne put on a
Women
nice
do it too.
demonstration on how to wash your hands.
I did. And you know what?
I thought that Wayne put up a pretty good one earlier today.
I did too. That's the one I'm talking about.
Thank you.
I don't know if I've seen that today.
I haven't seen it yet, John.
It was
That
quite
was
funny.
hilarious.
Yes, I will survive.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's the thing. So, what do we do, Renee?
What?
What do we do?
Wash our hands. We don't touch our face. We cough into our elbow. We don't shake hands.
You know,
Stay the hell away from
Walking
other
around
people.
like this. Get back.
Right?
What
I
do
mean,
you-
it's common sense, really. I mean, if people would just use a little common sense.
what do you think,
Yeah.
Digger? What do we do?
What's that?
What do we do?
I think stay away from mass crowds of people, and
Right?
I mean, follow direction. I mean, that's pretty much the simple way to do it. Do what they're saying. Stay away from mass crowds of people, and where you think it might be, don't go there.
Yep.
Hospitals.
John, sorry, Digger. Did I cut him? Okay. I got a question for John. This is a different question for you, John. What do you think they need to do and put in place for the drivers that are out there right now that's not happening? That you can see.
They need to give them a safe place. Like I'm closing the rest areas and stuff. They need to give them a safe place to park. They need to be. They're shutting down the bathrooms. Okay, so how unsanitary is that? Now you're going to ask this guy that's hauling food to a retail chain to go ahead and deliver this here, but we ain't going to give you a bathroom to wash your hands or get yourself clean. And they've already
Right.
proven.
And they think throwing pee bottles out on a parking lot was an issue.
They're gonna have an
Right.
issue now.
Yeah, they're going to have one, all right.
They're gonna have a big one.
Which this is a question for everybody. We'll go with Renee first. How's the hygiene in the trucking industry with drivers?
Right now, it's a little better, but I mean, there's guys out here that sometimes I swear they don't take a shower for a month. I've walked up behind them and been like, "Ooh, Lord." So, I mean, yeah, it ain't great, but it's getting better because of this. At least they're washing their hands. They may not wash anything else, but at least they're washing their hands.
Digger,
Yeah.
hygiene in the trucking industry.
Do what's that?
How's the hygiene, in your opinion, in the trucking industry?
I've seen it pretty bad when I was out there on the road, Wayne. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it can be nasty, and I still cruise out to the truck stops, and I see some that I'm like, wow, just wow. That's all I can say.
Right.
John, how's the
All
hygiene?
right, here we go. Going to pay for your fuel. Going to pay for your fuel, and you standing there in line for your receipt. And the guy that's in front of you stinks so bad they can smell him out on the fuel island.
I know.
And I'm one of them guys. I can't hold my mouth shut about it. I look up and say, "Hey,
Right.
driver, you won the prize this week. What's that?" I said, "They're going to give you some towels and a fucking bar of soap." And they're gonna
I ain't holding back.
anybody that knows me will say, if I'm crabby in the morning or at some point in the day, if I'm really crabby, I don't pick my certain time of day. Like if I get up real early in the morning, I'll go in and shower. But if I get up later in the morning, I'll go trucking and I'll wait till the middle of the afternoon when the truck stop's dead. So I just walk in, go do my thing. Well,
Right.
I can tell you, if I didn't get a shower, I'm a miserable bastard.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Amen.
I might not shave the whole time I'm out there during the week because I hate shaving. I'd rather take an ass kicking than shave. Hey, why do you think I was in such a hurry tonight, Wayne? That's why I had to go run and jump in the shower because I hadn't shaved in a week. And I said, shit, I can't go on camera with Wayne like this. I got to shave.
First.
You know?
But
The hygiene in this industry is terrible, and they think nothing of it,
Yeah.
but yet they want respect. Well, have respect for
Right.
yourself and take care of yourself. Today, one of my
Exactly.
owner-operators stopped to drop off some paperwork that he runs for the same lady out and back to Vermont every week. And Wayne, you've heard me tell the story. I call him the old man. I've been around him for 20 years. He's like an adopted dad to me since my dad passed. And the old man looks at him and goes, look at how he's dressed today. He's dressed like one of them flip-flop sweatpants wearing owner ops. And he just, yep, that's the attire out here. And it just went right over his head. So now we got to put the memo out that if you're caught wearing sweatpants and you're going into customers like that, you get it once. The second time, kiss your job goodbye-bye.
all right.
Right.
All right, let's go to some questions, guys. I see there's a lot of people in here, and I don't mean to put everybody off. Let's not hog it. So let's go to one. All right, so let's try this one. Let's see if I can get this right, guys. I'm trying to.
You were doing pretty good at it yesterday.
I know. I'm trying to show it here. Okay, TJ Stewart, Terry Rogers. I've done a lot of tornado relief. Joplin, probably the worst one I've ever been into. So I guess compared to, let's go with that, Terry. Let's go with Digger. Compared to hauling relief and what you're seeing, this is a totally different game, isn't it?
I know TJ real well. I've worked with him in the past. He's like a brother to me. Joplin, Missouri hits real close to home for me because I'm from Miami, Oklahoma. So my community was impacted with that tornado as well. I had friends and family that was in Joplin at the mall shopping when that tornado hit.
Oh man.
One of my best friends, that's a dealer at the Harley dealership in Joplin, Missouri, just about lost his wife and 3 kids right there when that happened. He just came home and parked his motorcycle, and the tornado hit. And it hit on the west side of Joplin by his house is where it started come across there. And that was unknown. It just come out of nowhere. They knew the tornado was on its way, but it just happened. And it was a big, wide, slow turning tornado.
So compared to that type of relief and everybody's, I'm hoping everybody's okay now, Terry.
Oh yeah, that was several years ago. Everybody's recouped since then.
Well, sometimes it takes more than 7 years to get better from.
Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely. There was people that lost their lives in that tornado.
Right.
Not to mention the town of Pitcher, Oklahoma, which is west of there. That's 3 miles north of where I was raised at all my life. You was talking about surviving lead and stuff a while ago, Wayne.
Yeah.
The one of the largest Superfund projects in the government history was right there in northeast Oklahoma, where they dug up the lead out of the ground because they mined iron ore there, and they took a big impact from that because they had to redo everybody's yards. A lot of the town, the whole area right there, just had to be completely reconstructed. They made it through that, and then that tornado hit and leveled the town. So now it's just government wetlands. They relocated everybody and moved them into Oklahoma, over to Miami and around certain places.
Not to interrupt, but my wife's actually going to verify it. We might be on lockdown.
Oh wow,
Vegas, really?
So and see, that's why this is different. This is completely different from what we've ever seen ever. I mean, Nashville just had that big natural disaster. All the things that we've seen in our lifetime. This is different. My wife leaving the room right now to go see if we're basically in martial law.
That's what I was just going to say, that they're doing martial law without the camps.
Right? I mean, where do you guys see this going? Let's go with Renee first. All right, John, where do you see this going?
I really think they're hiding something else from us. They're using this to hide something else from us. But I'm a firm believer in that they're going towards martial law without the cams.
Yeah, I believe you're right. I believe you're right. All right, let's go to it. What do you think, Terry?
Honestly, I'm in dismay because of it, because I've never had to go through anything even close to this. For them to shut the trucks down would be a major impact on the whole United States. I mean, there's no doubts about that in every aspect of building supplies, groceries. I mean, you name it. It's going to be a huge impact. I have no idea, like Renee, she hauls cars. That's going to be a major for her right off the bat. And same for John, in the grocery industry and pulling reefers. I pulled reefers for 10 years. And yeah, it's just not going to be good.
No. And go ahead, John.
You talk about probably the most devastating thing, and you'll remember this, Wayne, probably very well. Devastating thing besides this here was I was in junior high. PepCon. That's probably the biggest disaster I'd ever seen in my life. Tell that. You know what I mean? That was close to home to me to feel a panic. This here, is it starting to bother me? Yes. It really is, because what I see for traffic, and I don't see my normal traffic flow, because I live right beside I-39 and the shops down off of I-90, 94. I'm not seeing the normal traffic flow. Yes, I can joke and kid and say this is nice, but it also at the same time it's an eerie feeling.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at a comment from a few minutes ago that's saying Massachusetts or Barrington, Massachusetts in martial law. And I don't know how true that is, but I mean, how far off are we actually? Renee, are you back? Okay, I think we lost Renee, but I don't know how far we are from that, guys. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, if they're putting you down on lockdown, you're there.
Right. Well, I don't know how true it is. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I've been in here with you guys, but this is what I mean. Somebody said here.
Except medical supplies.
Oh, hang on. You hear with that, honey? Hang on.
Amazon suspends all warehouse shipments except medical.
All right, time out, guys. We got breaking news. We are on lockdown. Gaming stops tonight, and that's right there. Only Essentials in Las Vegas, Nevada is basically in martial law. I know what you say, because here's what's going to happen. And here's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for this shit because I'm pissed off. It took too long for gaming to take their chokehold off the government for them to close them freaking degenerate casinos. All right? I'm sorry, guys. But them machines, they pulled the dealers a while ago. They pulled all their employees and they left the machines to take the money. The Win went first, then MGM, and then the other ones came last. It was let's see who can close last and take the last of the money.
My wife just pulled the thing up for me. Amazon suspends all warehouse shipment except medical supplies or high demand products.
Wow.
Like and share it out, guys. Remember, because this is coming from drivers. It's coming from people that are actually going through it in different parts of the state. We all have many, many news outlets. I don't have an agenda here. I get drivers, I bring people on board, and I want truth from people that are actually going through it. So
Right.
now I'm on lockdown. So I fully depend on you drivers right now for everything, just like any other time, but now more than ever. Because the only time I'm allowed to leave my house now is to go get food in pharmacy.
Wow.
It's coming across right now. It's coming across my feed. bank, and that's it. And that right there is basically all that is, guys, in the car. Everything's in the car. Damn, I'm sorry. I kind of had a rant there. I'm a little upset. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm back.
Go ahead.
There you are.
What do you think, John?
It's a scary deal, man. I mean, tell me I'm on lockdown. I don't need to go to the shop. I've proven this before. I've stayed home on this farm, never left the farm for 30 days. My wife finally looked at me and said, you know, this is unhealthy. You need to leave the farm. I'm fine being away from people, but it is a scary deal. And it makes you kind of think and read different things into it. Like Nut Hut Bernie wanting a socialism. This is what it's leading towards.
Well, right, but you see, here's the one thing though, John, and here's what I'm going to say, and I understand that completely. But with the mass crowds on the beach, people continue to go and put money in gamble. It's going to force the negative. Audio is really bad.
What are we doing here? Oh, there you go.
So I lost my train of thought for a second. But with all the crowds and nobody listening as far as not going to places, I seen pictures on Facebook today, guys out at bar, come join us at the bar for St. Patty's Day.
Why would you want to go out in public with the chance of this? I mean, they think it's a joke.
Well, but the thing is if it's going to take me out, I'm going to go live my life up. Well, the thing is they're trying not to get to take people out. So they're now that nobody's listening, and because your president went on the air and said he wants everybody to close your doors, bars, restaurants, close, and nobody's basically hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not.
And now on lockdown.
They don't want to listen because they hate him, and I'm not one of the people that hates him. I love him.
Well,
to me, he's our commander in chief, and we should kind of do as he asked us to do because he's trying to keep us safe.
Because I'll tell you this, and I'll ask Terry this. Terry, does this have anything to do with the election? Does this have anything to do with anything?
Yeah.
What it is?
I don't know. I can't comment on that. I try to steer clear of those kind of politics. As far as an election, I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Joey, we need people to stay home.
Here's what I'm that. Unless they got the whole world in on this, and
Here's the only way. Here's the only way you're going to get everybody to stay home. Are you ready for this? Are you ready?
yeah.
Shut the Federal Reserve. You can't buy nothing. You can't do shit.
Right.
Cut off the internet.
Well, no. If they shut the Federal Reserve, nobody can get money. The only bad part about that is for like company owners like myself that use Fleet One fuel cards. If they close the Federal Reserve, you can't make payments to your fuel card.
Right.
Then your drivers can't run. But that's if you truly want to make everybody stay home, shut the Federal Reserve. Nobody's going to take a bank card. They can't get their money. You know, we actually, I'll be honest with you, we ran out yesterday and actually brought more cash home to have more cash on hand at home in case they do shut the Federal Reserve. So you at least got to wait to get some things if you need them.
Yeah, we got more groceries.
And we got more groceries. But the grocery store was sparse.
So
Sorry,
here's the deal.
technical difficulties.
Right. So if we're on lockdown, you guys are not allowed in our state. Wouldn't that be correct? Unless it's
That's the way I would understand it.
right. Right. So my advice
Your
to
food supply just went.
what's that?
Right.
Your food supply just went out the
Yep.
window.
Right. Now, right. Unless it's directly food, unless it's directly medical supplies or food, they're going to cut it off. They're going
Right.
to turn you around. They're going to turn you around. So
Most people don't understand. You know, they see that great big Walmart warehouse, and they see that great big Kroger warehouse and
Sure.
that Smith warehouse. There's only 3 days worth of food in that whole warehouse.
Right.
3 days. That's it.
Yep.
And it's empty. And I mean, Renee Pole Reefer, Digger Pole Reefer, they understand what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Right.
yeah, all right, Tim.
Well,
Key-
I heard last night from somebody that they was going to shut down trucks coming through on I-40, and I said that'll never happen. They shut them trucks down coming through any interstate system, and it's going to be worse than they ever imagined.
Oh, yeah.
Toilet paper,
I mean, look
toilet
at
paper,
81
and
shuts down.
hand sanitizer would be the least of their worries.
I mean, I did hear some stuff yesterday, and I've been waiting to hear, and I haven't seen anything on it today. My wife hasn't seen anything on it today. That they were, according to the CDC, put everybody on lockdown. They'd give everybody 48 hours to get home, starting tomorrow. Did you hear any more on that? My wife says she hasn't heard any more on it.
Well, here's the thing: when you have crowds on beaches and people still going into places, they're gonna have to do it. If the only way to stop this is by the spread, is to put people in their homes, and that kills the travel. I mean,
Right.
I've seen videos of conspiracy debunking that this don't work, that don't work. The one thing I know is this is what China did, and they had a peak, and they're on the downslide now from what the feed coming in is. And we're supposed to be repeating exactly what that is, but we're doing it faster, technically, is what we're being told.
Right.
I mean, if you look at it, if they make everybody go and stay home and stay in their homes, okay, and just do it for the 2 weeks. Nobody's out in public. No, the airborneness of it is going to disappear.
And if they don't, what happens?
Oh, then it's going to spread more and more like wildfire. My wife's watching the numbers all the time. How many more cases we have by us here? How many confirmed cases? How many suspected cases? She's keeping an eye on it all the time.
You know, France is on lockdown, and this is not just us. This is the world. Where has it not? There's a couple of places where it hasn't infected. Correct?
All right.
Where
I'm reading this.
all right. So let's read this comment. Tim Keenan says, "Then what's going to happen when all the people that run out of cash and can't buy food? You're going to have people actually starting to starving to death and killing each other for scrap food. There's a lot more to it than what you're talking about. There's a lot more. They're not going to let us starve. They're not. What John's saying is them cutting that off is they'll take care of the food is what they're.
They're going to ration your food to you. They will bring food to you. Right. They don't want you in public.
That's what they're doing anymore.
They're going to ration it to you like a bread line.
Right. The thing is
some places are going to curbside pickup for groceries only.
My wife just said some places are going to curbside pickup only for your groceries. You can go online, order your groceries, come to the curbside, they'll bring them to you.
Well, here's the crazy thing. Walmart put that in place already. You know,
months ago. There's so many of them that did this many months ago.
Right. Well, and to say this, now we're planning for technology because the one thing they haven't cut off is us to communicate to each other. I've got 4 of you on here right now. What happened with Facebook as far as that goes, they took that feature away because they're restructuring Facebook as far as broadcasters go. So, and as far as this is still letting us broadcast, so we're still okay. We're able to talk to each other and see each other. When people taking that away and start separating people and you can't talk to each other, that's the problem.
Like I said, they're doing something else along with this that they don't want us to know about.
Well, here's the one thing I know they're doing, and they are already. Here's the one thing I'm tired of already hearing, and I'll say it. The one thing I don't want to hear from my president is about airlines and about how we
fuck them and their bailouts. Fuck them and their bailouts. They got plenty of money.
John, I agree. I don't want to hear nothing else about corporations and companies that are suffering. I want to hear about the people and what they're actually going to do directly for us. This is where we Trucks don't shut down. We don't do that. We get ahead of it. Like they get ahead of the curve as far as this goes. We get ahead of them suppressing us in the end. They have to put something in place to where this economy booms instantly out the gate. And I think if everybody does go home and gets bored enough after 2 weeks and they actually do it, everybody's going to go out and spend everything they have once it's over.
Yeah. You're right, Wayne.
I mean, it's just how I feel. I don't know if I'm right, John, but I know I was raised in a fashion to where you don't trust everything you read. You weed through the book. My dad told me, Wayne, life is 90% bullshit and 10% knowledge. You better be able to read through that bullshit.
Yep.
And then 10% knowledge is a given.
Absolutely.
I don't know what to say here, guys. I'm scared for everybody because life will change forever after this.
Sure it will.
And you conspiracy theorists that are out there saying, oh, this is being put in place for things that can happen after this is over. No, the things that are going to happen in this process are going to force different things to be in place. So we're not in this situation again.
Right.
It's all over the world.
Right.
And I don't want to go, where I'd like to go with this. All I'm going to say is this is punishment. This is punishment.
Well,
And I'm not one of them people that sits there bang, 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 thump, thump. I just look at it my way, and this is punishment.
Well, and I can understand that, John. I completely can, because I'm I am a believer. I don't give a shit with anybody.
You and I have had this discussion, Wayne.
Right, and I'm not here to force that upon anybody, but I know the one thing this world needs right now is love, and it's to love each other and to actually stop bickering about what this is, what this ain't, what we're gonna, and just reach out and make sure we're okay as people. Stop worrying about yourself. Stop worrying about, I saw, right, Matt, I'm upset because I didn't get to go promote the driver's side, and I didn't go get to do this, and I didn't get to do that for the driver's side. Technically, that's selfish for me to feel that way, because in the end, like when I see these people posting about like Chrome Shop 75, them poor people, 21 years, they've had that show. And I see a person get on there talking about, oh, I'm not going to be able to have my show because they canceled it. Oh, I will get. Sir, that family itself alone is going through turmoil just by canceling it. They didn't want to cancel it because I know Gary Jones and Bubba, I can't remember Bubba's last, and everybody knows who Bubba is in a big truck. He wrote literally out, please don't see it as a cancellation. See what this family went through to have to make this decision.
That family, that was a very, very hard decision for them to make.
100%.
I've stopped there for years. I've been to the show a couple times. I've never competed, but yes, that was a very hard decision for that family to make because they are very nice people, and that is something they look forward to every year. But so I know it was a hard decision for them to make. Very hard.
But the right one.
But the right one.
Yes.
In the end, it's the right one.
Yeah.
And I get it, and I'm a trucker at heart. We don't stop as truckers. We're gonna have our show. We're gonna have our truck show. We're gonna do this. We're gonna drink our beer. We're gonna party, and we're gonna have fun in a parking lot and have a good time. But at the end of the day, we got to think about what is actually going to be better for us in the long run. Longer, isolate, because if they don't do this now, your 2 weeks is going to turn into a month. Your month's going to turn into 2 months, 3 months, and the people that did it from the beginning in the first 2 weeks are going to be stuck at home for 3 months waiting for you idiots to get rounded up like loose sheep.
Exactly.
Right. Right.
I'm already on 1 month. I'm done for a month. Vegas is done for a month.
They closed Fremont Street for 8 weeks, Wayne. They closed it for 2 months. So what does that tell you?
Right now they closed my state.
Yeah.
Now they closed my state. They didn't just close the Devil's Playground. They closed the Devil's house, just everything. They took his house. They repossessed everything from the devil. This is sick.
Yeah, they took everything from the devil. Just think of what that's doing to the town of Pahrump.
Correct. Man, I mean, if nobody understands the you're talking billions and billions and billions of dollars. You're talking you know how much is dropped in a machine a day? and you know how much sports betting? They cut off all the billionaire clubs' assets.
Yeah.
From sports to gambling to church to Disneyland. Go
Hey,
home.
I know when I come out to visit by you, and like I said, I grew up in Henderson. But I know what I spend when I'm out there to put into the economy, because you get so many people that go out there and they treat it just like it's around their hometown. No, they don't understand how that town works, how that town thrives, and how that town survives. It might be devastating to people here where I live, but I know what it's doing to your town, like. It's horrible.
It's from drivers. People hit our unemployment line was a few thousand deep a week ago. Ago. All right. As this ball drops, we are an immediate standstill, immediate economy wise. Now we're just all the way around. You know, Jesse Piper says it though, but this man is right. He's right. A little love goes a long way. I needed to hear that.
100%.
It does. Because I know in my heart that I can go to this man right here, down there, and this woman right below me, and we will watch out for each other.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's and that's where I don't understand what to. When I see, okay, there's certain drivers that I want to call out by name and want to call it, and they're taking advantage as far as making themselves popular in a time like this, making stupid videos like where truckers gonna go eat, where truckers gonna go to shower. I got 300,000 views. I gotta close my curtain because they're waving at me because I made a. Are you serious, guy? Are you seriously doing that? Take your ass home.
That's the mentality we have out here anymore.
Well, you're right. And Terry,
and believe me, Digger, you've been out here longer than me. Shit, compared to you, Digger, I'm a rookie. I started running over the road in 1996. My daddy was 52 years in this business, 8.5 million miles accident free. I've been around it my whole life, but I love it. When I'm sitting and talking, I love sitting and talking to the older generation. I love the stories. I was in Jackson, Ohio one night, and one guy on one side of me was from like New York or something. No, actually, both of them were from Wisconsin, and we got to talking. And one said he had been doing this many years, and the other one said this many years, and I said this many years, and they go, "How does it feel to be called a rookie and having 20-some years of experience?" And I said, "You boys can call me a rookie all you want. I love it."
Right?
Because guys like that in this industry made me want to do this. The guys that are in this industry now, these new guys that are coming in wearing their flip-flops, their sweatpants, not washing their ass, having no self-respect for themselves, makes me want to get out of this industry. So the one that's being a video Rambo behind his curtain in his truck, he ain't nobody. He don't impress me.
It doesn't impress me, but it saddens me.
Well, it saddens that the flock, the masses, will listen to him because they think he's somebody.
Exactly.
It's no different than the ass ambassador, Wayne, and you know who I'm talking about when I say ass ambassador.
Stop.
I mean, I really wish that Showtime and Ziggy and Phil were here, because
we'll do them this week. Rob. I mean, John, we'll do them this week. But Renee, I want you back weekly. I want you to represent women in trucking for as much as possible, because I know.
Hopefully, I have a better signal next time.
Regardless, we can still see you, we can still hear you, and we know who you are. Your smile radiates just joy. And I'm sorry, and I know in my heart, your mother and my brother are together, and it's hard for me to say that, but I know that. I
Yep,
know that. You're part of my life now, and I'm sending you your shirt. John, you'll get your shirt. Digger, you get your shirt. Your Stack Boys get your shirts. Okay, guys.
Well, hey, then I'll get your
Hey, yeah.
swag.
Yeah, these were for Matt's. My wife had them made. They're absolutely amazing. They're really cool. They got baby blue. We're gonna get some people for the girls.
Sweet.
All done.
I'll
They
send
were
you a Trent shirt.
yeah, please do. The least I can do is send the shirts out that I didn't have, that I wasn't able to give away. Tim Keenan, you get one. Philip Kirby, you get one. Send me your address, guys. Here, I cannot thank you.
Will do.
The thing is I'm on lockdown, guys. Nevada, I can say that and confirm that. I have to technically, I got to go to the store right now. That's why I got to end this. I got to go get food for my cat and my dog. You're not going inside, honey. I will go inside. I suggest, well, I guess it doesn't matter. If you catch it, you bring it. It doesn't matter. Get home, drivers. And I'm going to say this, Digger, I care about you. I care about your family. I hope that stops and you get home with your family because we're on lockdown. That means it's coming for everybody. It's not. It has no this whatever this is. It doesn't see color. It doesn't see creed. It doesn't see nothing. Okay. But it does have boundaries. But it does kill us, our older folks. And nobody's seen that little old lady that waved at that school bus every morning on my page. I'll post it to the driver's side. She gets up every day to wave at kids.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And they stopped and they waved to her.
And told her happy birthday. I thought that was awesome.
And people like Amy, friends like sisters to Renee that are very vulnerable and susceptible to this disease, and people like us can carry it that are healthy and be asymptomatic. John, not you. Keep your ass home, John. Period. I don't care. Anybody that's got any kind of issues, get out, get home to your families. We have a military. And I'll tell you this, Mr. President, get your ass and get these drivers some relief, get them what they need. This is the heartbeat of America right here, and they should be treated that way. I love all you guys. Good night, Digger. Good night, Renee. Good night, John. Bye, everybody.
Night, guys. Love you. Woo! Night, brother.